Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeleine and I am an Australian currently living in England. Last week I applied for my driver's license, and as an Australian I just get to swap my Australian license for a UK driver's license. It's a simple process. I just have to send off my details and I will receive a driver's license in the mail. There are no tests involved, but today I thought I would do a mock theory test to see if I should actually be driving. I haven't studied for the test. I'm going off the knowledge that I have. We'll find out how I go. The hope is that I pass. If I don't, then I've got a bit of learning to do. Wish me luck. If you have to slow down quickly on a motorway because of a hazard, you should switch on your hazard lights. Good start. You wish to park in a 40-mile-per-hour zone with traffic flowing in both directions. At night you should park. You want people to be able to see your car, so I'm going to say with parking lights on. Okay, good. While at a mini roundabout, you need to... My brain's not working this morning. Let's go with give way to oncoming traffic on your right. Okay, I don't know why I needed to think about that a lot, but apparently I did. We do have roundabouts in Australia. Oh dear. On a standard 3-lane motorway, what is the purpose of the right-hand lane? The right-hand lane is for overtaking. Next, if you see miniature warning lights, 2 lights aligned vertically, one of which is red, what should you expect ahead? I can't recall seeing lights at the fire station. I know they are on the side, but I've never seen them light up, so that's not helpful. A level crossing, potentially. An airfield also I haven't seen before. And the bridges that I have crossed with lights have always been like standard traffic lights. So I'm gonna go with a level crossing. Am I doubting myself? Okay, let's just go level crossing. Lock it in. Okay, good. You may drive over a footpath if, well, I don't think you're allowed to drive on the footpath, so I'm gonna go with you are getting onto a property, because that is the only reason I can see that you'd be allowed to drive over a footpath. It's not recommended that you drive along the footpath, so you can in case of an emergency. Excessive or uneven tire wear can be caused by the faults in the suspension, I think. Well, it wouldn't have anything to do. Yeah, suspension. Okay. You are one of the first to help a motorcyclist injured in a traffic accident. Do not remove the person's helmet unless it depends. If they are injured, then you probably shouldn't be taking their helmet off. I'm gonna say only take it off if it's essential, otherwise you could further injure them. You're involved in an accident with another vehicle. Someone sustains a neck injury and your vehicle is damaged. What should you find out from the other driver involved? Name, address, and number, insurance details, all the information that you need. Everything else, not relevant. So, hey, not doing so bad. I feel like I'm shaking though, so clearly I'm nervous taking tests. While waiting at a pelican crossing, an elderly person begins to cross the street. When the traffic lights turn to green, the person is only halfway across the road. What should you do? Definitely, you want to give elderly people more time to cross. You don't want to scare them because that's pretty mean. Wait till they have reached the other side. When driving through a flooded area, what should you do? I think that test the function of your brakes. I think it's the same when you go in a car wash, that you like slowly test your brakes just to dry them out in case they got wet, and that dries them as you drive along. You're going down a steep hill. To help control the vehicle, you should select a low gear and apply the brakes carefully. You'd want to select a high gear because you're going down here. Okay. I've got to think about it in my head, and the hand action's helping. Oh god. I feel like I'm gonna get the answer wrong, but we'll just go with this one. Ah! Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Oh well. The first MOT certificate will need to be acquired after the purchase of a new car. 3, 2, 4, or 1 year. 3 years, I think. Sounds right. Except ambulances, taxis, and vehicles with more than 8 passenger seats, for which the requirement is 1 year after purchase. When you are turning left to enter a side road, which hazard should you watch out for the most? I mean, all of those things, but the hazard you should watch for the most is pedestrians. If you are involved in an accident and someone is unconscious, your highest priority will be to definitely check to see if they're breathing and stop any heavy bleeding, because they're unconscious. You should probably attend to them before anything else. If you have been disqualified from driving in addition to serving your sentence, what must you do to get your driving license again? So I don't think it's that one, because you're disqualified from driving, so you wouldn't be able to do any tests. So I think it might be one of these two, because they're both after. Do you have to apply as a new driver if you've lost your license? No, you wouldn't apply for a duplicate driving license if you've lost one license. So I guess you have to apply as a new driver. Okay. You are driving behind a large goods vehicle. It signals right, but it starts to move left. You should, well, they are a heavy vehicle, and so these trucks, lorries, whatever you want to call them, need more room to turn sometimes. So if they move over into the lane, either left or right, you give them space to turn, and then everyone's happy. You don't want to be smashing into a turning vehicle. Slow down and let it turn is the answer. You forget to switch your rear fog lights off even after the fog has cleared. It could. Definitely, I think it's a breach of the law, because you don't want to blind people when there is no fog, or dazzle them. You don't want to dazzle them either. You want to park facing downhill. You should. So when you park on a downward slope, you are trying to not make your car roll. So applying the handbrake and turning your wheel will stop that from occurring. If you put your wheels up on the curb, it can still roll. You must not reverse your vehicle. I think it's further than necessary, because you can do that. And you can do that, so further than necessary. Okay. After heavy rainfall, the motorway is wet and the road spray is affecting visibility and overall driving conditions. You should. You don't need fog lights, I don't think. Dip headlights, so you can see the road. You are approaching a roundabout and see a pedestrian getting ready to cross who must give way. You would have to give way, and even if it wasn't a zebra crossing, I'm pretty sure if they're about to cross and you're approaching a roundabout, you would give way to the pedestrian anyway. I think it's you. You have to give way to the pedestrian. You're driving down the motorway and planning to turn off at the next junction. Unfortunately, you missed. What should you do? So this has actually happened to me. I have missed my exit because there's only one entry into town going, I think, north on the motorway. Like coming south, there's 2 entrances, and I always think I'm going south. So I'm like, oh, I'll just take the next one. There is no next one. The next one is ages away, and it's about 10 minutes until the next exit. So fun times. But you just exit, go around the roundabout, come back up the motorway, and then you can enter one of the 2 entrances. You will carry on to the next junction. We know this from life experience. If your vehicle breaks down inside a tunnel, what should you do first? Well, you should switch on your hazard lights and call your breakdown company, because if you wait in the car with no hazard lights on, people are going to hit you, definitely. So you want to switch on the hazard lights, tell everyone that you are broken down, and then they can move around you. If you have a collision, which of the following would reduce the risk of neck injury? So the other ones don't make sense. This is the only one that does make sense. So this one. While driving on a busy main road, you realize that you are driving against the oncoming flow of traffic. You would pull into the side road and then turn around because you are going to annoy people that are on the road by driving the wrong way in the first place. And then if you decide, oh, I'm just going to turn around here, you will disrupt the traffic even more and people will be mad. So pull into the side road, then turn around, and then you can rejoin once you are ready. While you are driving within the legal speed limit, the motorist behind you flashes his or her headlights. What should you do? Keep driving at your chosen speed and the driver will overtake, judging it's safe to do so. While driving behind a vehicle on a road that is slippery and wet, how large gap should you leave between that vehicle and yours? I think normally it's a 2-second gap. When it's wet and slippery, I think the gap needs to increase. So it would be about 4 seconds, I think. Double that, 2 seconds to 4 seconds. You see a pedestrian with a red and white stick. That tells you that this pedestrian is... I have not noticed this red and white walking stick before. Maybe they are red and white. I didn't know there were different colors. I'm gonna go with is blind. Oh, is blind and deaf. Okay, good to know. I definitely didn't know. Yeah, that's something that I'm gonna have to look up. Your handheld phone rings while you are driving your vehicle when it is appropriate for you to accept the call. Once you are stopped in a legally permitted place. What should the left-hand lane of a motorway be used for? It is normal driving. You are towing a trailer on the motorway. What is the maximum speed at which you can travel? So the regular speed on the motorway is 70. So let's deduct 10 off that. That's definitely too slow, and so is that. So 60 miles an hour. While driving in foggy conditions, you should stay well behind the vehicle in front of you in case the vehicle stops abruptly. Yeah. You are involved in collision while driving. What is the first thing you must do? Stop. The other things you can probably do later, except for carry on driving. You just need to stop. In which of the following situations should you never overtake a cyclist? Definitely all of the above. Someone has injured his or her arm in an accident. The person can move it, but it is bleeding. Why should you instruct the person to keep their arm upright? To reduce the bleeding? You are waiting behind a cyclist at a traffic light. When it changes, you should allow the cyclist time and room to move. Beep your horn and drive through before the cyclist can. No, definitely don't. Give your cyclist some space. As you are driving, ahead of you is a bus at a designated stop. You should prepare to slow down and give way if the bus moves. When approaching an unmarked crossroads, who has right of way? How do you know? I guess nobody has right of way. Maybe the widest road. Or are they tricking me and it's none? We'll just go with the top choice. Oh, they were trying to trick me. It is none. You are going to reverse into a side road, but you aren't sure the area is clear. I'm going to go with get out of the car and check because you aren't sure it's clear and your mirrors aren't really going to help you in this instance. Hey, ice question. When traveling on icy roads, how should you drive? This is a tricky one, so I've never had to deal with icy roads before. I have driven on alpine roads in Australia, but they're well maintained and I've never actually had any issues, and I haven't experienced driving in winter yet because it hasn't been too bad when I've got out on the roads recently. I guess the highest gear, you're more in control, maybe, but how is it good for ice? We'll go with highest. Okay, good. Thank you. We got there in the end. On icy roads, driving slowly in the highest gear reduces the chance of wheel spin. Okay, good to know. So you must hold your full EC/EEA driving license for years before supervising a learner driver. 1, 2, 3, or 5. Shall we go with 3 again? 3 seems to be a lucky number. A police officer flashes headlights at you and points left. What should you do? Pull over to the left. Yes, pull over. Pull over. Which style of driving will cause risk to all on the road? That would be competitive driving. While you're traveling within the legal speed limit, another motorist attempts to overtake your car. Should you stop the motorist from doing this? Why are we trying to stop people from overtaking? Just let people drive. If they want to overtake, there's always going to be cars in front. There's always going to be cars behind. It's just how the world works. No, you don't want to be stopping this. A roof rack fitted to your car will cause, what will it cause? Like you'll use more fuel because your car has more things on it. Is that how it works? I think that's right. So you are driving in strong winds and you wish to overtake a motorcyclist. What should you do? You want to overtake wide as possible. And I can't say that I have overtaken a motorcyclist before. You're driving along a country road and a horse and rider are ahead of you. You should. Again, you want to give the horse plenty of room and you don't want to startle the horse because that could cause problems. Which vehicles should you allow extra room when you overtake? Motorcycles. National speed limit on the outside lane of the motorway. It's 70 across the entire motorway. Okay, so not too bad. I thought I would do horribly. Good to know that my driving knowledge translates from Australia to the UK. 86%. Oh, 94%. I did better than I thought I was going to do. I passed. The questions that I got wrong were because it's early in the morning and my brain is not functioning just yet. So the one that I got completely wrong because I didn't know was the blind and deaf stick. I will look into that a bit more. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. I'll see you next week. Bye.